early. We've taken a little nap. We got here so early. And now we're just going to wait for Rodney Rodriguez to join us.
And take another nap.
Is he even with us at all?
Well, I don't know. Let's see.
Okay, well, let's not pressure everybody into it. Pardon me?
Mike had him. There he is.
There he is.
Best way to do it. Small view, sample size.
By the way, did you know that you're an award-winning track announcer?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yes.
Check your mailbox.
Yeah, you've gotten the In-Wheel Time Award for best track announcer in the world.
Wow.
It's made out of paper mache.
I guess I'm so good that I haven't worked in a year.
That's right.
You're being picky about which jobs you take.
I'm one and done. One hit wonder, gentlemen. Yeah. One hit wonder.
Do you ever follow any of those track announcers that do like World of Outlaws? And I mean, that's a specialty that I'm impressed with.
Don, you know how it goes. I listen to everybody. I listen to everybody do their job.
Now, do you ever listen to us?
All the time, of course. It's my favorite show.
Liar, pants on fire. But you do have a new microphone, I see.
I do. You know, with the travel that I do, you know, trying to simplify stuff. So they tell me that, and they sent me this to test. The company sent me this, and they're like, if you like it, you can keep it. So before they ever sent it, I said, I love it. Because $3.99 is my favorite price, but
exactly.
They tell me that I can unplug this and go wireless. So I don't know. I haven't tried that yet.
You know, I have been really ridiculed about the microphones that we use here on the show because we're using Sportcaster headphones. But you have to understand, and this is not a put down, but Mr. Mars nor Mr. Zekin, either one are broadcasters and said they don't know how to use a freestanding microphone. And so, you know, it's kind of like, well, you know, I don't understand what the problem is. You can't hear me. Why can't you hear me? Why can't you hear me?
Well, I know freestanding microphones.
Yeah.
Mine are attached to my drum kit. I've got my upper toms mic. I've got my floor, my snare. I got my cymbals mic. Those are the microphones I know.
Well, Don, I hope that you have passed on, because we guys that have done this for a long time have probably learned the hard way. Every mic is a hot mic.
Oh my God! Yes. Oh,
I think
yes.
He just told you to pass on. I think that's what I heard.
I'll pass on that remark.
One.
I will tell you that yes, early days of radio that I had way back when, I did not realize it, but the microphone was hot because you know, in the studio you turn down the monitor and you think, well, no big deal, right? Oh, the microphone was hot. And I was ticked off at some Baylor football broadcast person that wasn't sending me the feed, so I thought. And there were some 4-letter words that went out over 5 million watts of power.
I tell you, man.
And I didn't get one phone call about it because
nobody's listening.
That's when you know you're doing good. That's when you know you're doing good. Yeah,
right.
The first station that I worked at, man, we had such a terrible signal, and it was like nobody's listening to this. You know. So anyway, it's all good. It's all.
So who's your microphone supplier, if I may ask?
What's that? Moano. This is Moano.
Moano. Is it an Indian name or, I mean, American Indian? Moano.
Looks like one of those podcaster specials, it's set up for a podcaster.
Yeah, and I'm in my old ways, you know, I like XLR. I mean, I love the headsets that you guys are using. I've got one laying right down here. This is actually, because I'm in a completely different place. I'm in a different house at this point. And this is the first time in years that I'm not like running a mixer. I'm like going exclusively like the young people do with USB. So I'm like really apprehensive. Old dog, new tricks, roof, woof, woof.
Well, speaking of old dog, new tricks, how are things on the roundy round circuit?
You know, dirt, once again, especially in this part of the country, Texas, Louisiana, and so forth, just continues to be the driving force. There was a factory stock race in Greenwood, Louisiana.
Wait a minute, factory stock?
Factory stock. So that's a steel-bodied Monte Carlo type car that they say the engine package is very stock. They run on asphalt slicks, old pull-offs. It's really the popular class in this part of the country. There was a race.
Affordable.
Yeah, the $20,000 for a
comparatively speaking, it's affordable.
It's supposed to be. That's the thing. You pay $20,000 to get you a custom built chassis, but the affordable part is you use the asphalt pull off that only costs $30. So it's all
there you go.
Word manipulation. But they had a race at Boot Hill Speedway in Louisiana, and 128 cars entered. And get this, $30,000 to win.
Oh my God!
A factory stock race on dirt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
so
cow.
dirt continuing to do really good things. Asphalt is just plugging along. It's just not the forte here in this part of the country. Unfortunately, Houston's still the only track in the South. I mean, unless you get to out to Florida and Georgia and those areas. But dirt is doing extremely well. Lots of great dirt tracks in the state of Texas, including 105 right there, somewhat in y'all's backyard, that are doing really good things.
Well, so let's talk about drivers. Are they young? Do you have some old drivers in there too that have been around the track a couple of times?
You do still have a lot of for example, out in y'all's part of the woods, Howard Willis, who's a living legend that continues to get out and race. And you do have guys that have kind of floated from class to class that continue to just show up and run. But it is predominantly a lot of youngsters that are doing this, and male and female. And they're starting them, guys. They're starting them real early. Real early. It's scary.
I remember when I was doing the trackside interviews with you, as a matter of fact, out there at Houston Motorsports Park, and the fact that I interviewed the winner of one of the races. I think the boy was 15 years old, didn't even have a license yet to drive on the street, but he won the race.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that continues to happen. The quarter midget, the real young kids, the quarter midget thing now is a part of the NASCAR Youth Series, is what that's being called and run throughout the country. So I know here between the Austin group and the San Antonio groups of those quarter midgets, where a lot of people start. I mean, Kyle Larson and a lot of these different stars have started in quarter midgets. Those are very healthy groups. They actually had the opportunity last weekend to race out at COTA at Circuit of the Americas and kind of a makeshift little oval track. So they're starting them 7-8 years old in a lot of instances. And a lot of guys that you watch on some of the regional and national tours of whether it be super late model, pro late model, even in the dirt sectors, 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, you talked about that, and you talked about the senior class or the older drivers that you're with. They are now few and far between in the NASCAR and the Cup Series side, because your old timers are the Denny Hamlins in the 40-year-old range, the Larsons in the 40-year-old range. But then you're talking about these preteen kids with the quarter midgets and then the circle track cars. They are getting younger and younger. The truck race that ran yesterday in Dover, there were 3 young ladies in there, and drivers that look like they didn't even shave yet are in that race.
Well, I hope that the girls didn't shave.
Well, some of them did. But you had Michael, you had, what's his name? Not Kevin Harvick, but the other commentator. He was in the truck race last night.
Oh, Boyer. Yeah.
Boyer was in there.
Yeah. And it really is, because the difference is now where these youngsters come in and they come in with money, however they're getting it, whether it be the parents, whether it be, companies that have aligned with them. And that's really what it takes. It's very much a pay to play thing. It always has been, but gone are the days where the one that I go back to where I remember as a younger person was where handsome Harry Gant, the Skull Bandit. That was a guy that was just unbelievable, in late models. But by the time he broke into Cup racing, he was in his early 40s. Yeah. And now, like you guys are talking about Denny Hamlin and some of these guys, they're at the twilight of their career.
Yeah, exactly. They're the old timers. Exactly. Yeah. You got, guys like Dick Trickle. Those guys have set the pace.
Right. So it's a drastically different landscape right now. And a lot of these, I mean, there's a lot of back and forth with it, because you get a lot of these kiddos that come in and are capable. I mean, like Caden Honeycutt's a young guy here from Texas. He won his first truck race last week at wherever they were on the road course at Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
He won everything he was in. We watched him in Houston, for a lot of years, where these guys come in and they've earned that. They have truly earned, in my opinion, where they are. But others come in and they come in via the way of the checkbook. And hey, it's business. That's the way this works now.
So let's talk about NASCAR and the popularity or unpopularity of what's going on there. And I've heard both sides of the story when it comes to these segment races that they have within a race. What do you think about those?
I like them because what you're going to have with the segments, it's going to cause restarts. And the one thing that these segment breaks do, two things for me, two things that people complain a lot about is when you don't have caution flags, it's the endless, there's nothing happening. Well,
right.
These are controlled caution flags, and they happen to pay points. I like that in and of itself to help the point system. The other part of it that you get is when folks are watching a NASCAR race, there's too many commercials. These are built-in commercial breaks for the networks to where you're not going to miss the restarts that I'm talking about. So there is a lot of back and forth on how that needs to be done. But I definitely think that it's a different day and time. And it's taken me a long time. It's taken me a long time with just different things that have happened to get over the things that I feel that are missing. There are a lot of things missing, but what we have to realize is it's not the 80s, it's not the 90s, it's not the early 2000s, any of that anymore. The star power is different. Yeah. I think that's a big part of it.
Exactly right. And I don't necessarily agree with you on the segment racing. I'm really still not over it. But what I have noticed is that the early segments are shorter laps to make the last segment the longest run of the race, which that's where the racing happens, in my opinion. So I'm not really into it. I think it's more of giving everybody a trophy. Plus, the guys that, could win at any given time that are not on that leaderboard can win. And they can move up. So it's more of, okay, we got this group of 10 or 12 or 8. They're the ones that are going to race for the trophy. No, let everybody race for the trophy. That's the way I look at it.
And so much of this really is, to me, that the car is the problem, if you want to call it a problem. I mean, this is a race car. This is a full-blown race car. You can call it a sports car or a kit car or whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, this is a car to where, I mean, it doesn't move around a lot. I mean, the engines don't blow. I mean, it's they call it bulletproof, and it somewhat is. And the weird part to me, I think, where a lot of people, if you play those video games and all these different, which I try to do, but again, I'm not that tech savvy that I'm any good at that stuff. But you watch this Gen 7 race car, and there's this massive hit, where it hits the wall, and it doesn't even get wrinkled. It just kind of keeps going,
Well, it's all part of safety too with the soft walls and things. But I agree that the car is the issue because every year somebody's whining or crying about, the car doesn't do this and the car does that. And it's terrible.
And I happen to think, and this has nothing to do, I've said this for the last 2 years before the company that I got involved with is part of the O'Reilly series, to where that's a better race car. You can actually still get into that race car and you can work all four corners of it. You can do different things setup wise. You can go in and modify it as the race is going on. It's a racier car. It isn't as indestructive as the Cup car is. To me, the Xfinity or God, I hope the wrong person doesn't see this. To me, the O'Reilly series is really the one that generates the best racing right now. Very competitive. The rivalries are there, it seems like, and it doesn't matter if you put them on an intermediate, a road course, or a short track. You're going to get a weekly dose. And there are over 1 million people watching those races on the CW, on over-the-air TV, and the networks can't draw anything, it seems like, on Sundays.
Yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're going to have a guy by the name of Andrew Chapman on the air with us next hour. He's also a driver in the ARCA series.
Nice.
He's coming up, yeah. And I remember ARCA back in the day when I went to Talladega and stuff. ARCA was the Saturday race, and there was none of what we got now today. And then the Winston Cup was on Sunday. But the ARCA series had a lot of action in it and a lot of competition, and they weren't all in one big pack, but they were at least on the same lap, but they had many
pockets
throughout the lap series. And I found it really exciting and fun to go to, even though it wasn't as popular and you didn't know all of the drivers. It was a great series. And so I'm a big believer in those underlying series that lead up to the Cup.
Yeah, the Automobile Racing Club of America produced so many great drivers. Benny Parsons, I mean, the list goes on and on. You know, Jack Bowser was a guy that maybe a lot of folks haven't heard of that came through ARCA. But you know what happened? And ARCA is one of those series where, like where I talk about with the youngsters that come in, to where people instantly go to, those youngsters are going to ARCA. They're starting out in ARCA, and that's where they begin to ascend. And ARCA, where ARCA kind of changed was when it became a NASCAR somewhat entity. And that, you know, for a lot of people, guys, you know this as well as I do, to where like anything related to NASCAR these days is not good.
Yeah, gobbled them up.
Right.
Yeah, got them,
yeah.
you know. So it I don't know, man, but it's a great couple of weekends that are coming up. You've got the All-Star events that are going on at Dover today and tomorrow with the trucks and O'Reilly and the Cup. And then my favorite day of the year is next Sunday, because I'm a stock car guy and all this different stuff. My favorite race of the year is the Indianapolis 500. Favorite race.
We got some things coming up. And to that note, I think there's a young lady that's going to run the double for Indy and the, was it Coca-Cola?
Yeah, the Coke 600. Catherine Legg.
There's a young lady that's going to do it this year. She was time trialing yesterday at Indy. But you mentioned, you talked about saying the wrong word or the wrong series. If they quit changing the name so often, people would remember what series it is.
That's right. Bring back the cigarettes.
Yeah, bring back Winston.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah. Ooh, it's got something flying in here. But yeah, Catherine Legg is, and again, that's another story to where a lot of folks are instantly going to the negative, but folks need to do a little research on Catherine Legg, because that is a very accomplished race car driver. Yeah. And where I think at Indianapolis, I saw where she said her goal is to run the 1,100 miles, to finish on the lead lap of both races.
Right.
Very capable in AJ Foyt racing equipment, I think, at Indianapolis. I am a little more concerned about Charlotte, because that equipment is maybe not, top tier, but it is a long race. But she said during the week that one of her biggest concerns is not the fatigue and all that. She's very fit. She's concerned about, she eats every 2 hours, she says, as she trains. So that's kind of one of the things to be watching next week. But I'm glad for Catherine Legg. I'm a huge Catherine Legg fan.
Well, she's had a rough career getting through all the places because she wasn't treated right in the Cup stuff. So enough said.
Ronnie, it's great to talk to you. What do you got on your schedule for the next couple of weeks?
Not a damn thing. I'm actually home throughout the month of May, and then I hit the road in June for work. I'm doing it's called a hot rod tour that I'll be traveling through Illinois and Missouri, and it's a week-long thing. I'm back for a week and a half, and then I hit the NASCAR tour on some stuff. But, we'll continue to produce content. Again, that's why I got this microphone, because I can take it with me, and continue to try to win awards like you guys.
From one broadcaster to another, I will tell you that the microphone works really well.
It does. Sounds good.
Tell your folks there that supplied it to you that they did good. And you did good, too, and it's always great to talk to you, my friend. You take care of yourself, and let's stay in touch.
Be well, guys. Y'all have a great week, and stay safe.
Yep,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, just ahead in Jeff's Car Culture, can run flat tires be repaired? And Mr. Mars has Houston hiking in his driving destinations feature. Weird, but we're going to figure that one out. It's all coming up after this break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us.